of course, you gotta get a pan. And let's see if I can go down here so you guys can see. You can also see the ingredients there. So you got the pan, okay? There you go. And you know, you can put like cooking spray on there if you want to. Actually, don't have any right there, but it's not usually that necessary, really. Just because you know, you're basically, at least with the recipe I'm using, I'm doing crescent rolls, so they don't cook that long. I'm using Pillsbury. You can use whatever brand you want to use, you know. But let's see. And then we have some ballpark franks. You can use any kind of hot dog that you want to use. Turkey dogs. If you're into turkey dogs, you can go that route. And then we're using some Kraft singles. That's the other thing. You can kind of mix it up with any kind of cheese. This is just kind of cheap, you know. You have a yeah, it's stained around the sides like that. I was trying to see if I had some cooking spray I could put on there. Usually, I usually don't even bother putting it on there. Actually, I don't want to put that on. I mean, Pam, you know, a lot of people use that. Any kind of cooking spray that you have laying around. I just can't seem to find where I put it last. I know I used it the other day. So, this will probably work. It's right here, I guess. And so there's really not much preparation to this at all, and I've seen people do it different ways. I've seen people do it with you know, bread dough, and then basically just kind of put like the whole hot dog inside of it with the cheese and stuff, which is kind of an interesting way to do it. That's going to take longer to cook, of course. So this is just, you basically just have to cook this as long as the crescent rolls need to be cooked. And then the hot dogs will, you know, be pretty much thoroughly cooked. And we didn't get the pop, so we had to pop it ourselves. So here we have the crescent roll dough, and let's see. So what I like to do is kind of just separate them out. The nice thing about crescent rolls is you usually get them in 8. I think usually there's like about 8 of them, and which is perfect because usually when you get hot dogs you get 8. So that's really, I'd say, the main reason that I usually use crescent rolls more than anything else. Just because it kind of equals out. It's like all right there. This is like a very quick and easy thing to do. So yeah, I mean, if you don't like hot dogs, that's okay. Like I said, you don't necessarily have to use like beef hot dogs or anything like that. You can use turkey dogs, which are fine. What was that line in Futurama where like the really rich guys like You know, doesn't matter how rich you are, you can still enjoy a nice turkey dog or something like that. But I don't know. These are, I just kind of noticed the packaging was like bigger usually I don't get like these really big fluffy ones. So I'm gonna have more dough to wrap around this stuff, which is kind of cool. But then again, you know, who's to say that you have to use meat in this whole thing? You could put anything in a crescent roll or anything like that. So I've not seen tofu pigs in a blanket, but I'm sure someone could do it if they tried. If you're vegetarian or you're just not into hot dogs, you could probably substitute other meats too. I don't, you know. I mean, the specific thing about hot dogs in general, you probably wouldn't be able to use crescent rolls with certain types of meats because they'd have to be cooked already, basically because you're just trying to get the crescent roll to bake around, you know, the hot dog in this case. So it wouldn't work necessarily with everything. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. Like, you don't necessarily have to be using crescent rolls. That's just like a quick and easy, really cheap method to do it. Okay, so really, the only thing that I use a knife for in this is to kind of make slits in the hot dogs. So, you know, you got a hot dog here. And then I just kind of make I don't know if you can see that, I'm kind of just making a cut, you know, through the entire thing and then kind of pulling it apart like this. Then you take like a piece of cheese. Oh. And I mean, when we're talking about like cheap things to cook, this is extremely cheap. You know, I think I actually was gonna. I was gonna show you guys how to do some seasoning on fries and stuff, but I don't know where I put them. So then, you know, once you kind of get some cheese in there, then basically. You can kind of just wrap it however you want to wrap it. You know, this is the pig, and you just wrap it in the blanket, and that's kind of where it gets its name. And there you go. And that's pretty much as easy, like, you know, an easy, quick way to do that. And then I've already got the oven preheating. You know, I usually just cook it at the temperature that it tells you to bake the crescent rolls in, because like I said, by the time that it gets out of there, the hot dogs are cooked, you know, evenly and well by that point. So and then you kind of just repeat the process for all of them. I'll try not to slice my finger open and shoot blood at you guys. Yeah, so how many of you guys have made something like this before? And then, if you have, how do you do it? What way do you do it? This is just, like I said, a cheap, quick, easy way to do this. You know, you can feed a lot of people with it. It's not really too fancy or anything like that. But I don't know. If you like hot dogs, then you'll probably like these.
Use the boost to get through!
super sticky wherever I put them. So I mean, you know, that's why some cooking spray can help. I mean, again, you're not cooking them that long, so in general they're not going to stick. But there you go. And then kind of just gonna put it in the oven. Move, pup, move. And like I said, I usually just generally, if you're using like the crescent rolls or whatever kind of rolls you're using, that's how, you know, what I would recommend for the amount of time that you're going to do it. So you know, this says 12 to 15 minutes. Depending on if you want it like more soft or crispy, or how exactly you want that bread to be. A better look at them. Boop, boop, boop. Kind of lots of melty cheese. These rolls are a little bigger, like a little more fluffy or that kind of stuff, but you know, I kind of like them to get brown a little bit on top, just for this specific thing in general. Usually I don't do that for just crescent rolls by themselves, but I don't know. Oh, wait, let's see if I can zoom it. Zoom. Look at them. Look at them. Oh, this way. There you go. It's pretty easy. That, you know, it doesn't take too long. It's really super cheap, and you can kind of do it however you want to with any kind of like dough or anything like that. But crescent rolls are kind of just a cheap, quick way to do it. So.